Buxton.
Thank you. So one of the notes that I had I'm thinking this is a good insertion point right here. One thing we had talked about this fall to bring back, and it appears on tier 2, is the noise code. So to reinstate the old noise code that I think that back in the day, maybe there was some misunderstanding about whether it was in compliance with like the standard building code or something. Anyway, is that going to be one of the things that'll be under consideration?
I mean, right now, our department is, I think, collectively community development. We have 12 full-time employees. 4 are in the planning and development services with the permitting staff and our building inspectors and plans examiners in the building division. So for us, the tier 1 activities are probably going to encompass most of our time. And so in order for us to move another item into tier 1, we might require additional staffing or financial support to get consultant help to do the work. I mean, as with any of our work programs, if we have gaps that we can start working on things where we have availability of staff time, we could potentially start working on those items. But just given all the existing deadlines that we have, it'd be really challenging for us to add another thing. Typically, in the past, when we've worked with the committee, we've been able to say, oh, well, we can push this item down and move this other item up. But just given all of the deadlines we have that are either June or tied to specific permits and that, we don't really have the capacity to make those adjustments.
So are you saying that it's not as simple as just reinstating a code that's already been written, that just going back and just cutting and pasting code that we had and putting it back? It would be...
Yeah, I think, and Dan can definitely speak more to this, and we could probably, at some point provide you with some additional background information, but my understanding is that the energy codes have changed so much in the last number of years that some of the methods that we were implementing in our codes may not make sense anymore. And I can have you add to that, Dan.
Sure. Yeah, so I can provide you some information. I did a little bit of, well, I didn't do research of my own, but I reached out to people who have done some work on this and provided them information, so I can provide you that. But basically, in a nutshell, there was that Part 150 study that's ongoing with Boeing or Port of Seattle. And so there was some information from that study that seemed to have shrink the map and lessen the noise. The claim was, it's my understanding of it. So I can give you what I have and why we repealed it in the first place, and then you could as a group decide whether or not you want to figure out what it would take to reinstate it. And probably what I think we're getting at is we would want some kind of study done on our own to make sure that we're not wasting contractors' money. I think is the concern. Is right?
Well, it's just that we don't, internally, we just don't have the staff capacity to take on that work, and so we would have to evaluate, what would it take to have an outside consultant do that work for us.
Because, and just to clarify, there is sound transmission control built into the code, so that would just be above and beyond that is what we'd be asking for, but it is a requirement already.
Okay, so just heads up, I know the reason that making a deal, because I know there's going to be pushback, and I know that there's community pushback and council, so they're going to take either us to task or you guys to task in public, and so I'm prepping for that, hoping for you too. So, okay.
If I could just add.
And,
I could add over here, sorry, I'm back here with the mic. Yes, so the noise code is on the city's work plan. The council had put it on for a future agenda. So right now it's tier 2, but there are some things that we need to get done first. But it will be coming forward to the council at some point.
Okay.
So.
All right, I'll
As soon as we can, I guess I would say. I mean, it's right there, you know, ready to be moved up to tier 1. But there's just some things we need to finish first.
Thank you.
Deputy Mayor Steinmetz.
Thank you. And just